Hi class, my name is Lauren and today I am here to present about the different theories of stress and coping. So to start off, what is stress? Stress is an inevitable part of life that occurs from changing behaviors or environments. It has both external and internal causes, and it initiates the fight or flight response that we're all familiar with. It is also a response of the mind, body, and then behaviors. So prior to 1932, stress was unknown in physiology and psychology until a man by the name of Walter Cannon came and was the first one to define stress as the fight or flight syndrome. So I thought our authors of the book did a really great job of kind of summarizing the whole idea of stress with a quote of, "It is not the stressor, but your perception of the stress that is important." So as we all know, stress is a necessary part of life that helps to drive us to complete tasks. It keeps us motivated, but if too much or not knowing how to control it, that's when it becomes debilitating and when it becomes an issue. So there's three main classes of stressors. There's the discrete ones, which are major life events such as a death, a new job, ongoing stresses, which are kind of everyday, persistent things, daily hassles. And then there is the third category, which is the absence of major happenings, such as boredom, or when the desired events don't occur or don't occur when you think that they should. So the model of stress and coping is basically a flowing diagram that kind of goes in a circle. So it starts with the stressor, goes to the primary appraisal, where they analyze, is it a harmful or threatening or challenging obstacle they're facing. Then moving on to the secondary appraisal, am I able to cope with this stress? And then to the coping mechanism, which can either be problem-focused or emotion-focused. And then after that, it moves to the reappraisal, which analyzes whether or not the stress has been negated. So there's two different theories that our book outlined. There's the theory of hardiness, which takes into account that hardiness is a personality trait, and then it focuses on the control, commitment, and challenge. Then there's also the theory of sense and coherence, which focus on the key constructs of comprehensibility, manageability, meaningfulness, and yeah, so then coping is something that is necessary with stress. So another quote from our book was that each person must find a way to relieve his pent-up energy without creating conflicts with his fellow men. Such an approach not only ensures peace of mind, but also earns goodwill, respect, and even love of our neighbors, the highest degree of security and the noblest status symbol to which the human being can aspire. So dealing with stress is a part of life that you can't really get around. It's inevitable. So there's many different ways to cope, but one of the most effective ways is optimism, which is the tendency to focus on the best possible outcomes. So there's two types of coping. There's problem-focused coping, which takes into account the person's capability to think and alter the environmental event or situation. And then there's also the emotion-focused coping, which focuses on altering how one thinks or feels about a situation or event. So to kind of put all this into a play, I made up a little diagram with this guy named Ricky the rock climber, who is deathly afraid of heights. So in order to overcome this fear of heights and the stress that he feels about it, he decides to take up rock climbing. So the stressor is the fear of heights. Then he moves to the primary appraisal, where he determines, is he okay, is it too high? After that, to the secondary appraisal, how much control does he have, how effective is his harness, his gear, etc. Then he moves to the coping mechanism, so the problem focus, where is an environmental thing that he could change, so he could use extra strength rope. Then to the emotion focused coping, which could be him choosing to relax and trust his gear. And then moving finally onto the reappraisal, where he can determine whether or not the stress of his fear of heights has been negated. So I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation, and thanks for listening.